Hey yo, this is your girl Tysheen and I'm back with another video. Yes. So I'm going to be reacting to 10 whitest country outside of Europe. Okay, I'm curious. Now I'm curious. I can't wait to start watching this video. So yes, I'm back. So make sure you subscribe to my channel and let's get straight to the video.
Outside of Europe, and I'm sure some will surprise you. Welcome back to World According to Briggs. After we did our black and white series, I got a lot of requests to do the same thing for countries. I did a little research and decided to go with the whitest countries outside of Europe and Scandinavia. Now I have to throw in Scandinavia there because there's some people on this planet that don't think Norway, Sweden, and Finland are part of Europe. They are part of Europe, but some people scour YouTube videos for anything that they can consider a mistake and then try and turn it into their gotcha moment for the day. I really shouldn't complain about those people because in reality, they've really helped this channel grow. In case you don't know, comments, whether they're good or bad, help a channel grow. Now, what is considered a white person? We've used people with European origin to define the term white in this video. White obviously isn't a race, even though it's a race choice when you apply to be a night cook and boxing coach at Waffle House. I remember all the paperwork I filled out for the military. They're all, what's your race? White, black, Hispanic, other. Now for this video, we got our stats from the CIA website. And yes, they publish things like that. And when we could find the info, we cross-referenced that with the country in question's website. Got it? Get it? Good. Let's take a look.
10.
Number 10, South Africa. This one should be a surprise to anyone that's really not up on their geography or their world politics over the last 30 years. I mean, most people are going to think Africa. Shouldn't that be like 99% African people and 1% rich European white guys on safaris? The fact is, no, that's not how it is. South Africa has a complex and sometimes troubled racial past. For decades, they had a form of racial segregation that they called apartheid. And it wasn't until the 1990s that the government began to dismantle the oppressive system. They've got a long way to go, but Africa since the 90s has been working towards a better way of getting along, I guess you could say. More equal and just society. South Africa has a population of just about 60 million, with about 9% being considered white. Number 9, Mexico. Now, when you think of Mexico, you might think of tacos, sombreros, and tequila. And that's the stereotypes. Those are well-deserved stereotypes because you can get some incredible tacos there. Who doesn't love a sombrero? And they make really good tequila. But the fact is, Mexico's a pretty cool country. They've got some problems, especially recently with all their cartel issues. But did you know that Mexico is home to some of the world's most breathtaking beaches? That's right, you can find crystal clear water and white sand shores in places like Cancun and Tulum. If you're feeling adventurous, you can go all the way out to Cozumel, which is a little island out there, and swim with some dolphins. I will be doing that in 3 weeks. Now, this one surprised me, and I kind of went against what I give people a hard time about. Your opinion doesn't matter when it comes to the stats. In my opinion, I think this one's a little off, because I know a lot of people that have moved down to Mexico. I grew up in Southern California, and a lot of people I know went down and, started living in Mexico. Some of them are still there. Now, I know deep down the stats are closer to reality.
I know a lot of people that moved to Mexico and they love it. They love it.
Than my opinion, but still kind of weird to me. The population of Mexico is about 127 million residents, with about 10% being considered white. Number 8, Colombia. Another surprise. I like Colombia. I've been there a few times. The first time I went there was a little scary. It was late 80s, early 90s. But it's nothing like it was back then. They still have some issues, but nothing compared to the old days. I mean, right now, most people, when they think of Colombia, they probably think of drugs and cartels. And while that's true, the country has had their fair share of problems in the past with illegal drugs. There's so much more to this country than that. Back in the 90s and late 80s, you would not dream of becoming an expat in Colombia. These days, I wouldn't say it's common, but it's happening a lot more than you'd probably guess. The crystal clear waters of the Caribbean coast, lush green mountains of the Andes, there's a lot to see and do in this country. In 2021, Colombia had a population of 51 million, a little bit over, and of that, 20%.
Where is this place at? Where is this?
Are considered white.
Nice and peaceful.
Number 7, Venezuela. Right next door to Colombia, we have Venezuela. Venezuela is a country located in South America that is known for its rich culture, stunning natural beauty, and unfortunately, its political and economic turmoil. Yeah, it's a bit of a nightmare down there. Despite all the problems this country's faced in recent years, the people of Venezuela remain resilient. They're very optimistic people, and they got a lot of oil. They've had years where they're in the top 15 for the largest amount of oil produced, but generally they stay within the top 25. And they get a lot of oil spills too. There's actually a joke, why did the Venezuelan go to the beach? To see all the oil wash ashore. A lot of oil industry Americans go down to Venezuela to live, to help out. At least they did in past years. Not as much these days with all their political turmoil, but Venezuela has a population of 28 million, and of that, 43% are considered white.
Brazil.
Number 6, Brazil. This one might surprise a lot of you. Probably surprised that they even made a list like this. But when you know their history, you realize a lot of Europeans colonized this land and continued to move there, especially during World War II. A lot of the German military that were able to escaped to Brazil. Brazil has a population of about 214 million residents, and of that, 47% are considered white.
That's half. Canada.
Number 5, Canada. The only thing that surprised me about this one is they're number 5 and not like number 2 or 3. I don't know if I'm going to the wrong places, but every time I go to Canada, I see nothing but white Canucks. Come to find out, that Great White North nickname has to do with snow and not people. In 2021, the population in Canada was a little over 38 million residents, and of that, about 70% is considered white. Number 4, the United States of America. That's right, here they are, the United States. Growing up in Southern California and spending a lot of time in the South when I was in the military and things like that, I would have thought this is impossible. There's no way that the United States has such a high rate of white residents. Then I moved to Oregon, I'm all, oh yeah, okay, so that makes total sense now. This is a great part of the video where I could probably tell you the history of the slavery thing and the colonization of the United States and the indigenous people, but since about 90% of my audience is from the United States, you already know that stuff. The population of the United States is 332 million residents, and of that, 75% are considered white.
What's this?
Number 3, Chile. Chile is known for a couple things: stunning landscape and their love of soccer or football, if you're not from the United States. From the Atacama Desert to the Andes.
You do have to correct people because we call football soccer. Well, yeah, we call, yeah, you know. Yeah.
These mountains to the Patagonia glaciers. Chile's got it all. Did you know the Atacama Desert is the driest place on Earth? I always thought it was my stand-up comedy. The people of Chile are just as diverse as the landscape, with a mix of indigenous and European influences. The culture of Chile is really unique. The population of Chile is about 20 million residents, and of that, 88% are considered white.
Australia?
Number 2, Australia. This one, not really surprised on this one. It started off as a British, prison colony. Well, I mean, the Aboriginal people were there first, but the settlers were mostly convicts. Yeah, that's the truth. Australia, once known as New South Wales, was originally planned as a penal colony. In October of 1876, the British government appointed Arthur Phillip, captain of the HMS Sirius, and commissioned him to establish an agricultural work camp there for British convicts. One thing leads to another, and we get Crocodile Dundee. The original name the British gave it is now one of their territories or whatever. There's only a handful of good-sized cities in this country. It's a huge country. You got Brisbane, you got Sydney down in New South Wales and Victoria, you got Melbourne, and you got Adelaide in South Australia, and then Western Australia, you got Perth. Other than that, you might find little towns or small cities like Darwin on the north side of Australia, and then down south of Perth, you got Margaret River. Then one of my favorite places, Coober Pedy. This is a town where a lot of the residents live underground. Yeah, they tunneled their way into the hillside to get away from the heat. If you ever decide to move to Australia, keep one thing in mind. You gotta get some roo away. You spray it around your yard and the roos won't get in your yard and box your kids. Australia has a population of about 26 million residents, and 92% of them are considered white.
Ooh.
All right, before we get to number 1, if you guys haven't subscribed to this channel, I'd really appreciate it if you did. We're getting really close to 1 million subscribers, and I'd like to do it before summer. It doesn't cost you anything, it's just a click of a button, and it really, really helps us out. All right, on to number 1.
No.
And number 1, Argentina. Who saw
Argentina.
this one coming? This one was a surprise. I don't know a ton about Argentina, but I really didn't think it was gonna be.
I just love to see architect. I like to see colors. This is beautiful. I like that. I wish New York was like this. I wish the buildings were more colorful.
Be almost 100% white. There are Scandinavian countries that don't have as high a percentage of white people that Argentina does. Argentina has a population of almost 46 million, and of that, 97% are considered white.
Whoa.
All right, that's today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you.
Okay. That was very interesting. You know, as a black person, it's always good to watch these type of videos and learn a little bit more about other countries. I'm not sure how they are when it comes to like having African American black people, you know, visiting these type of countries because most of them are mostly white. And you know how that goes, so yeah. But this was fun. Comment below, let me know how you feel about this, and if there's any other videos you'd like me to react to, I will definitely check them out, and make sure you subscribe to my channel and check these videos out that I have, and I will see you later.